Wine Walkers Crete, a wine travel agency that focuses exactly in experience gastronomical style with a no to the local products, local wines, indigenous, in order to enjoy and experience Crete like a local. So it is a great honor to have you here today because you will spread the word for Crete and its cultural habits all over the world. So again, thank you for being here. Sisi, my partner and my collaborator, enologist, sommelier, she is going to be with you all the time, and I will be following you at each and every spot so we can enjoy together a magnificent experience. So we've brought you a small treat for you. It's a goodie bag where you will find a Cretan bite, like a little snack that Sisi is going to say a few things. It's totally vegan for all of you, so you can try it. And plus you will find a wine map of Crete, where you can open it and check around all the wineries located, all the archaeological sites, but also some more hints about Crete in general. And last but not least, you will find a small magnet for your refrigerator with a local variety that we have here in Crete, a very important one, a white one named Vidiano, and we've tried to give her form. If Vidiano was a persona or a celebrity, what would it be? And that would be Gilda from Rita Hayworth, because the hair, the peachy hair, are a little bit like a Vidiano color, but we will find out more. So enjoy. And Sisi, here's the farm. The name is Koronekes. It's a quite complicated name, but Koroneki in Greek is one of the most famous varieties that we use for making olive oil. I don't know if you have tasted by far olive oil from Crete. It's one of the most famous worldwide. It's extra virgin, and of course those of you that are from Italy, you know, of course, all the history and importance of olive oil. So this is a family farm. This is one of the most actually favorite that we have here. You will see by yourself, it's a very friendly place. We are going to have a tour in the olive fields. You will see by yourself the mills, the soil. We will talk about different varieties, different ways of producing olive oil. And in the second part, the most interacting part, we are going to have a small demonstration. We will taste olive oil, different types of olive oils, and we're going to prepare little snacks like tacos, the traditional crispy roll that we have here with crushed tomato, olive oil, feta, oregano, and some other herbs. And you will also prepare by yourselves with our guidance some tzatziki and vine leaves, stuffed vine leaves. So get ready for this, okay? Thank you.
Mr. Yorgos is the owner of Koronekes Organic Bio Farm. He owns this magnificent place that we found years ago, and we collaborate together as Wine Walkers and Koronekes, along with his wife, marvelous wife, Chiara. She's waiting for you right at the farm. Enjoy. See you again. I would like to know how was it?
Tourism that we are trying to go now towards to. We do three things. The first and the most important is the cultivation. That's why we're going to start from here the tour, so that while we are walking back to the olive mill, to the facility that we do the olive oil, we are going to have the time to talk about the first and the most important of the work that we are doing here, which is the farming. The second thing that we do, and we are going to see in our premises in the building, is going to be the transformation of the fruit into its juice. And the third thing is going to be the tasting. What we do is the finalization of the product and the commercialization. And for you, it's going to be a tasting and the production of a local rusk, if I'm not mistaken. That is what happened with me. I'm not taking care of the food activities. but I'm doing all the production. So in each part of my tour, I will make a post so that I ask you if you have understood everything, if you have any questions. Fashion nowadays, the reason that we are eating olive oil nowadays is because we are eating a dynamic food, as we call it. We are eating something that we are going to put it inside of ourselves, and it's going to wash out all the bad stuff that was gathered in the years, and according to this activity, action of the olive oil, we are going to classify it in the quality. So I want at all the moments to think that the best olive oil is the healthiest olive oil. How do we measure this quality? By measuring the concentration of those substances, natural substances, that they are responsible for that antioxidant action of the olive oil. Those substances, we call them polyphenols. There are many phenols, 3 phenols, that we call them all together polyphenols, and according to how many of those, the concentration of those in 1 liter of olive oil, we can classify it as high quality or fall in the quality. And where do we find the polyphenols? Exactly where we are, in the herbs around. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about first, that we are organic farmers. In the organic fruit, we have seen that we are gonna have better concentrations, higher concentrations, better results as far as it concerns those polyphenols. That's why my little field that you will see here, our smallest grove, which is 13 trees, you will see that inside it has a lot of herbs compared to my neighbors just next doors, or the other neighbors that their land it's or clown or it doesn't have herbs. They have killed the herbs with pesticides and insecticides. I need the herbs, I love the herbs, I live with the herbs in order to have the polyphenols, in order to have the quality. Many years now we have stopped the classic, if you permit the expression, the chemical agriculture, and we are doing the organic, and like that many plants that they were indigenous in the island, they have come back into our grove. On the trees, it's not in fashion yet to be bio, to be organic. The people, they will do organic the trees that they are around their house, not their cultivation, and we need an organic fruit. So one reason that led us to farming is that in order to have the fruit organic, you need to do it yourself. On the ground there are many capers. We need the capers to fight against the erosion. The erosion is something that we do not see. It happens every day, every hour, every minute, from the wind, from the water, and the landscape, as you see, it's not straight, it's not plain. So we need all these herbs. It's very imperative if you want to keep them. What you will see here, you might like it because it doesn't look like your place, and it looks beautiful and everything, but it is a little bit problematic. What you see over there, and this is the landscape all over Crete, it's what we call a monocultivation. A heavy monocultivation. What you will see, it's only 2 tones of green, or olives or grapes. That's what only exists, what we cultivate, what we work with as farmers. And not only we are seeing a big monocultivation, but also an enormous segmentation of the domain. A lot and small pieces of land of the same thing. And that's what I started saying you down there, about my smallest piece of land. What kind of cultivation can I do on 13 trees when I have so many neighbors? That they are not farmers anymore. They were 100 years ago, where the society, the basis of the society was farming. The trees that you see around you, except my smallest ones, the trees that we will see now walking in, they are of an approximate age of 200, 300 years old. The trees in this area around Heraklion, it's this approximate age, which means that they are there for many hundreds of years. The cultivation has changed, and this is a big problem in the organic farming. It makes our work very hard to have many neighbors, but they are not necessarily farmers, you know. The landscape I wanted to show you, I don't want to sound that like I am complaining. It's just I want to show you something that we just pass by, we see, we like it, but it's kind of problematic for the quality of the fruit. It's, for our pocket, it's good, this environment, but not for the quality of the fruit. You go and you harvest one variety. Not everything. You don't go to your grove and harvest whatever the ancestors have planted, because the ancestors have planted olives for food also, the table olives. They have planted olives for olive oil. They haven't planted one variety only. And so in order to have one variety, in order to control, in order to be master in that variety, you need to have the trees. You cannot go around again and ask from the people to bring you organic olives, as we said, and you cannot go around and tell them to bring you one variety of olives. They don't even know their variety, but that's another question, another discussion. In any case, we work only with the Koroneiki variety. That's the majority of our fruit. 2,000 trees we have, not in one grove, in 29, 30 pieces of land. In the beginning I thought this was a big problem because it was taking me too much time only to observe what's happening in the groves. Now I know that it's not a problem, it's a solution of the problem, because I understand that I never have the same problem everywhere. So the fact that I'm getting a little tired, again, it's better for the fruit, for the quality of the fruit. And the idea, as we said, is the quality. That's why we are eating the olive oil, because of his health benefits. I'm trying to explain you now ways that we are going to keep these health benefits, and if possible to put them more. So the Koroneiki variety is considered as the queen of the varieties, which means that we have in the world more than 1,000 varieties of olives. We don't cultivate them all intensively, but in any case we have a lot of varieties. The Koroneiki is considered as a queen because not only it produces a lot of olive oil compared to the rest of the varieties, but also because it produces high quality olive oil. And now you know what do I mean high quality. With a lot of phenols. Originally, if you plant it without anything around, it will have a little bit more phenols than another variety. If you have the luck of having sage, for example, you'll multiply your beneficial for the health things. So one variety, in order to have one variety, another reason to have the trees yourself. Because we are approaching, it's better in the shade. This is better than doing something. In the bio-cultivation, the truth is that. So a couple of things, two more things. First, it's very important to control the maturity level of the fruit in order to do what you want. The maturity level, it plays a significant role as far as it concerns both and the quality and the quantity. I'm talking about the olive oil in the small fruit that we are seeing. The general rule that applies in all the varieties, or in almost all the varieties, is that the fruit, when it's young, it's small and green. Now we have them very, very small and green, as I'm telling you. Now they do not contain a lot of olive oil inside. You can, not from my neighbors, from my olives you can taste, and you will see how bitter, how extremely bitter is the fruit. And it will stay that bitter, or maybe not that bitter, but very bitter, all the way to its full maturity. When it matures, the fruit, it changes colors. It passes from yellow to, it gets red spots, and then it darkens. It gets red, dark red, black and shiny. When it's black and shiny, it means that it has that much olive oil, that the olive oil it started coming out from the flesh. It's actually a little late to go harvest when it's shiny your olives, because you lost a little bit of the potential it is, and the more olive oil it contains. That's how it goes. The problem arrives with the quality, with those phenols. The phenols, unfortunately, they follow a curve. They start by when the fruit is small and green, they arrive up to a high moment, and then unfortunately they start the fall, to go down. And the problem is that when they go down, the concentration of the olive oil, it continues to increase. Yes, so we have a hard dilemma, a big question, before even we go to harvest, as far as it concerns when to go harvest. Are we going to go early in the year when the fruit is small and green, it doesn't have a lot of olive oil, but the phenols are at their peaks? Or shall we wait a couple of months so it darkens, it concentrates a lot of olive oil, and we'll get the maximum of the potential of the kilos of the olive oil, but we will lose a little bit of the quality. And you understand that in order to promote quality over quantity, you need to have the trees. Again, you cannot go to the neighbors and ask them to bring you olives while they think they are not ready yet. In the best case scenario, they are going to smile at you. The best case scenario. For that, for having the olive when you want it, the maturity level, we pick it up, imagine, at least 2 months earlier than our neighbors. This year, for example, we started 13 of October, while my father, that he doesn't work like this, I'm the son-in-law of the business, my father, he is promoting quantity over quality, so he started 20th of December. At that moment, the olives, they were black and shiny. He doesn't understand that, man. While we wanted it very, very green. I do not complain again. I may sound like that. I understand the fact that he doesn't arrive on selling the quality, but he arrives easily on selling the quantity. So I understand their choice of picking up late the fruit. But if they pick it up early, as we do, we will have the maximum of the potential for the quality. They are another reason for being farmer before being a miller. And before we go down, because down there I have my tool, my utensil, the way that I pick up the olives, I wanted to tell you that another reason for being farmer before miller is the freshness of the fruit. The freshness of the fruit is very, very important for every juice that we do. What we mean fresh is that from the moment that we'll use the utensils that I'll show you down there, it's a long rack that will vibrate at the end, motor motion, and we are 4 with those around the tree, and we go gently, like we are combing, like we are tickling the branch. I use these verbs when I'm talking to the workers, you know, we have to be gentle at all the manipulations of the fruit. So gently we go on the branch, we shake it a little bit, and we make the olives fall on the nets that we have laid before on the ground, and from the nets it's easy after to gather them, you understand, into boxes or into bags. We do boxes of not even 20 kilos. And I wanted to tell you that from the moment that we'll make one olive fall to the moment that that same olive will start becoming olive oil in our premises, there is not even an hour and a half that passes. Okay. In order to guarantee that duration of time, that freshness, you need to have the trees. Again, you understand, you cannot go around and ask for olives every an hour and a half. What really happens is that the people will bring, in the best case scenario, their olives in the end of the working day to the olive mill to get processed, and in the worst case scenario, in the end of their working days, after they finished all their groves, they will remember that they have to go continue and make the olive oil. So in order to have the olive when you want it, maturity level, as you want it, organic, from one variety, from one area, I have the luck of being in the borders. We are in the borders of the Archanes area. Archanes is the biggest village close by where I was born, and that village, it has the protected denomination of origin as far as it concerns both and the olive oil and the wine. So traditionally here we do good quality olive oil. So again, from one place, one variety, the same, the maturity that we want, very, very fresh, you need to have the trees. You cannot do it somehow. Those were the reasons that we needed to be farmers before millers. And here I make a small pause before we go to talk about the transformation of the fruit into its juice, to ask you if you have any questions or if you want to talk about oil. I've heard. We are talking about the fruit yet.
Yes.
We are going to talk about that in the end, about the acidity, when we have made the olive oil. And in order not to leave you like that, because I don't like not to answer directly questions, if you don't eat 35 kilos per person per year of olive oil, you don't care about acidity.
Okay.
If you don't eat as much. Acidity is something that we are talking a lot because...
We're talking about the oil, so we can speak later about
yes,
this.
acidity is something that it is marketing. Acidity is something that I can touch as a miller, as a farmer. While all the other 6-7 things that will make the olive oil, quality olive oil, they are not things that I can really touch a lot or I can transform. So acidity, it's a big lie, if you want it. You don't care about acidity, it doesn't mean anything. Acidity, if somebody knows what it means, acidity in the olive oil, then I will gladly explain to him everything. But we don't know what it means, we are talking about that. It does for the moment.
I hope no.
Yeah, for the moment. all these things, you cannot, now they are finding a kind of solution, but you cannot really find the solution. It will come to us. In Puglia they have it because it is, again, if you see the environment, it is really monocultivation, not another grape. So there, the little, and your enemy, it finds its paradise. How do we work now here? I'll walk through the machines and I will explain you what happens and how we work. We need about 300 kilos in order to start the process. We'll pour them in here. Imagine that the 300 kilos, they are a small pyramid. A small, not a big one. They will fall out if it's a big. So a small pyramid, 300 kilos, they go up with an elevator which is an endless screw that leads them to the first real machine that I call a vacuum cleaner. Because it is in the end that it is a motor that creates a current of air that takes whatever is lighter than the olives, in our case the leaves. All the leaves and the small little spiders or insects that they may have, they will live with this vacuum cleaner. All the leaves and all the remainings of the process, we will compost them later on and put them back in the cultivation in form of fertilizer. One of the principles of the organic farming. We talked about fertilizing with what? Not with you. There, the fertilizer. The vacuum cleaner takes whatever is lighter than the olives, as we said. Then we'll have a cylinder with projections of water. It looks like a washing machine. I don't like to call it a washing machine because we don't really wash the olives. We don't wash because we don't use or any soap or any hot water. We rinse them, if you want. In order to take the cowline away, the dust that I told you, or the remaining little leaves that they may have, or whatever is still stuck on them. And then something very, very important and very unique, and I would love if somebody has gone to another olive mill, if they have seen this stage of production before. This is, there is no motor here or any other machine. There are 4 people that they will manually sort the olives. This is my sorting table, what we call a continuous control of the raw material, because from here I will see each one and every of my olives. What we take away, firstly and surely, we are going to take away the foreign bodies, what we call foreign bodies. Foreign bodies are things that they have nothing to do with the olive oil. Like, for example, the snails. At the same moment we pick up the olives, in the winter, generally in winter, all around the world they pick up the olives. Once per year we harvest. And so at that moment we have the snails also. They love the water, it's humid, the weather, and the snails, they are bigger than the olives. And they don't go away with the air, they don't go away with the water, they love the water, we said, so they will end up in the olive oil. Or the wood chips. Our variety and most of the varieties of the olives, they have enormously a lot of wood chips. Pieces of wood on the trunk, on the tree. It's not smooth, the wood like in other trees. So those pieces of wood, they will break. And we are talking about big pieces of wood that they won't go away with the air because they are heavy. They won't go away with the water. They will end up in the olive oil. And you understand, a couple of pieces of wood and a couple of snails, they are not going to harm our health. They're not going to kill us. But we cannot talk about quality olive oil if we will have pieces of wood and pieces of snails inside. What it will harm eventually our health, but we are not talking about that because this stage of production doesn't exist elsewhere, as I told you, are pieces of plastic that we find here. Mainly the pieces of plastic, they come out from the means, the tools that I use in order to harvest the olives, a little bit like this. But they have silicone-made edges. These are plastic, in order not to harm nor the tree nor the fruit. At the same time they break, and we are seeing it. It's a big piece of plastic. It doesn't come out with the air, it's heavy, it doesn't come out with the water, so it will end up in the olive oil. All from the irrigation system, the tubes, plastic cans, the sprayers, I have seen that also. Even worried because plastic is unfortunately everywhere nowadays. Even us, as we take the most care of the environment possible, we unfortunately find pieces of plastic. We remove all of these, we will remove the over-mature olives, the olives that they have been hardly harmed by the worst enemy of the olives that people think it's a small fly. We will remove eventually the pit if we see that it comes all alone and it comes out from an olive that has been cornered in a machine or stepped over by a worker. If not the pit, we do not remove it, nor here nor anywhere else. Wherever we make olive oil in Italy, everywhere, we make olive oil with the pit. We smash the pit. We need to smash the pit in order to make the olive oil, because in the pit we'll find a little bit of olive oil. In the pit it's captured roughly 2% of the potential of the olive oil. That is not the real reason though. The real reason is that in the pit we have some natural substances, some elements, that they are responsible for the conservation of the olive oil, for keeping it longer fresher. That's why we need to smash the pit, which means that we can make olive oil with pitted olives. It's just that olive oil, it won't last fresh for very long. That's why everywhere in the world we smash the pit. We need the pit. I believe you understand what's happening here. Important stage of production and unique, guys, because this goes, it's connected directly with the outside. I can sort olives because I already have beautiful stuff to sort. If I don't have beautiful olives, if no matter what arrives here, I won't know what to throw in and what to throw out. You understand? I'll get crazy here. That's why this doesn't exist elsewhere. It's impossible to do it. Then we have a rolling belt that will measure the quantity. It's a scale. We declare, and in the organic and in the denomination of origin and in the state every day how many kilos we used in order to make that many liters of olive oil. And then we have exactly the same idea at the beginning. Yes, I'm standing here. Exactly the same thing at the beginning, another hopper and another elevator. In there, the olives, you have to imagine them very, very green. Very, very green, I mean that if you see in YouTube, you press our name and you see that stage of production, which is clean of leaves, you see only olives, you will see that not even 10% of the olives have started changing color. That is very, very green that I'm saying. Green, sorted, rinsed, ready to become olive oil, they go up and into this basic machine that has two parts and two functions. The top part, we call it a grinder. It is a hammer mill in a drum that turns one the other way than the other, and like that we smash the olives. When we smash the olives, they take the form of the tapenade that you're eating sometimes in the restaurants. Yes, only that tapenade is made with pitted olives. Somewhere in the process we took away the pits. My paste, you cannot really eat it because it has pieces of pits. And also it's going to be greener. The tapenade most of the times it's dark color. I'm talking to you about the tapenade because the resemblance is great. It's a thick paste, green in my case, that will fall in the bottom part of the machine, where there is another endless screw, much bigger this time, that will slowly knead the paste. Slowly is the movement that I'm doing right now, 20 turns per minute. When we do that in the ideal conditions, imagine generally that the ideal conditions they have to do with time and temperature. This ideal condition here, it's about half an hour in the space of between 21 and 24 degrees Celsius. So when we have that, in about half an hour, as I told you, I will see in the corner towards which the screw turns like this, and I'm talking about the corner that makes the wall of the machine and the level of the paste, this corner. In this corner, I will see the first drop, the first long line of olive oil. That corner is here. That's why I made my little window to open it and check at all the moments what's happening there. Why there? Because since it turns like that and it's a screw, the result of whatever happens here, I will firstly see it there. If there I see a long line, a long drop of olive oil, I know that the chemical reactions needed for the olive oil to start fermenting, they began, so I need to pass to the next stages of production. And they are those stages that they give us the status of the traditional olive mill. Which means that all the way to here, to this kneader, malacter as we call it, the two methods of production, they do not alter, or they do not alter dramatically. We always have a vacuum cleaner, we always have a washing machine, we never have a sorting table, we always have something to measure the quantity, we always have a grinder, we always have a malacter, a kneader. All the changes is from here and after. From here and after, in the modern method, we need two more machines in order to do the work. We call them centrifuges or separators. What they will do, the first is to take the paste from in here and spin it around, spin it with great speed. Great speed is more than 5,000 turns per minute. I cannot do 5,000 turns, it's rather hard. The machine though, it does 5,000 turns, and the effect that it has is that it will get rid of the solid waste from the one end, and it will leave the liquid phase to pass to the final machine. The solid waste in our case in our fruit is the pit and the flesh, the heavy stuff. That stuff will leave from the one end, and the liquid phase, which is the olive oil, that's why we're doing all this business, and the vegetable water. We don't have to forget that we're talking about a fruit, so as all the fruits, vegetables, as even as the people, we are plenty of water. That little fruit, that it doesn't exceed my fingernail, 1 centimeter maximum. It's plenty of vegetable water. The vegetable water with olive oil, we call it liquid phase. That liquid phase passes to the final centrifuge. The final centrifuge, even faster, 6,000 turns per minute minimum, and like that from the one end, the vegetable water, and from the other end, the pure olive oil to the client. Imagine that a medium quality centrifuge, an old centrifuge, a 50-year-old centrifuge, it can create about or more than 1,000 kilos of olive oil in not even 1 hour of operation. While here we need 14 hours and 7 people in order to make a little bit more than 200 kilos of olive oil. That's why we are 4 among 700. Because we take what the machine makes, we make the 1/5 of what the machine makes in 1 hour, we take a day and more people to do it. What do we do now here? Here we will follow the principles, the rules, the methodology of the antiquity by not using not the same material, not the same machines. You understand that thousands of years ago that people from the place they were making the olive oil, they didn't use stainless steel disc. They used huge rectangular pockets made out of a sort of a linen that they were stuffing with the paste, and then they were hitting those pockets or stepping over those pockets or squeezing those pockets or pressing those pockets, and the liquid that was coming out from those pockets they were letting it do naturally in the ground somewhere, in holes in stones that they have carved in stones or in vases, and after some hours or some days they were taking the top part of that liquid, and that was the olive oil of the time. Terrible olive oil. The fruit was amazing fruit. The processes, they were terrible. Nowadays we have exactly the opposite. Terrible fruit, excellent process. I like that you laugh with this. It's tragic though. We will use, unfortunately I have to use the phrase, the best among us, they will use these stainless steel discs. The idea is to capture in the holes the solid waste, the pieces of pits and of the flesh. And to I have 2 pieces here, I got them, I don't want anybody to move them. There. Pieces of pits. The idea, this is what you use for your pasta, not what you use for your coffee. For the coffee we have filtration, we need to apply great power. For this you just put the pasta and it's a strainer. It's, yes. So as soon as I see that there is a little bit of olive oil over there, I will press the button, the paste will come out and get applied on the disc for about 2-3 centimeters. This it turns. And I will pile up from 60 up to 80 of these discs in this platform, one by one. By the first 5-10 discs, I see that the olive oil that was already happening there, it starts naturally to dripping off and concentrating in the bottom of the platform. That olive oil we have seen means analysis. We have made the analysis and we have seen that it is considerably better compared to the olive oil that we will obtain later on in the other stages of production. That's why we decided to differentiate this product already from here. Internationally, this stage of production, that product I mean, it didn't exist. So we didn't have a name to commercialize it. We had to find a name. And because my father-in-law, half of him comes from France, he decided to call this olive oil that we will obtain already from this stage of production, to call it la fleur d'huile. La fleur d'huile in French, it means the flower of the oil. It sounds very, very nice in French, terrible in English. In English, we'll call it
fiore dell'olio. Yes. The first oil that without pressure comes out. And it has is like a medicine because farmers gave to little children in little bottles.
In Italy also, in other olive mills, I have seen that they call it, it's very rare to do this. People are doing it, they are calling it as they like. In Italy, a beautiful name, the tears of the angels. I lacrima di angeli.
Tears of angels, lacrime degli angeli.
So, you understand, we had to find a name. In English we call it free run because that term it has been coined in the winemaking, and it means the same, the wine that we take before we go to the presses. So our free run olive oil is the olive oil that I will obtain with the help of this valve and the tin, the bucket that I have down here. only while I'm working, only while I'm taking the paste from the malacter and placing it in the discs. That job takes no more than 20 minutes. In 20 minutes I took all the paste from in here, and by passing from here I placed it on my discs, and in the same time I recuperated as many as I could of this first free run olive oil, and I placed it. I took it from here and I placed it into one of my natural decanters, into one of those tanks over there. I do that because in the beginning it's pure olive oil. I can do the bottling already from here. But towards the middle and especially the end, I have a lot of drops of vegetable water, and if I'm not very careful here, of paste also that will fall with the olive oil. That's why I need to pass from another stage of production. As soon as I finish this job in 20 minutes, that means I start the picking up of my flare meal, my best quality. I will put the forklift under the system, I will lift it up, and slowly I will bring it into the presses. Slowly, because it's heavy, not because I want. So the presses, I place it to the presses. I'll start the pressing, the cylinder will go down, I will squeeze everything now. All the liquid will come out, all the olive oil and all the vegetable water. The same person, the same team, he will take it from here and he will place it in another natural decanter. I always write out here 1, 2, 1, 2 with big letters, or A, B, so that the workers, no matter the language they speak, they know that 1 or A is for my very best quality and 2 or B is for my second best. What we have done already in the press and before the press to compare with the modern methods is the work of the first century. I took away my solid waste, the solid waste. The solid waste is in between the discs. I will compost it later on with the leaves and put it back in the cultivation and goes on. And I took all the liquid and I put the best quality here and the second best here. On purpose I have left one open so that you can see how it is. It's a simple conic shaped bottom tank with a hole in the middle. I fill it up with this olive oil juice. I close it hermetically with the hat form top, and I will start adding tap water, drinking water that I have stocked up here. I will start adding it from the hole in the bottom. Since I add it from the bottom, and since the tap water is denser, heavier than the rest of the material, it will push up everything. First thing that will escape, it will be the air. Second thing, it will be the liquid. As soon as I see 5, no, I don't have 6 fingers, 4 or 5 fingers of liquid, I stop the process and I wait for about 6 to 8 hours so that the natural decantation takes place. Exactly. The natural decantation is the natural separation of those 3 liquids according to the time, 6 to 8 hours, as I said. The temperature, I leave it at 23, 24 degrees every night here in the heat, and the special density, the special weight that those 3 liquids they have different. So what it will happen after 6 to 8 hours, or 8 hours, it will be that the pure olive oil, which is the less dense, the lightest of all, it will stay on the surface, on the top, and exactly under that we'll have the naturally decanted, the little heavier vegetable water, and exactly under that I can have the heaviest of all the drinking water, what I added in the night. The same way, from the hole in the bottom, I will start adding again water, this time drop by drop, slowly, and like that, since I added slowly, I push up all the system to go out from the tube on the top. And the first thing that will go out now, it's going to be the pure olive oil. That's why the tube is transparent, so I see at all the moments that we are talking only about olive oil and not even a drop of vegetable water. That's how we are going to take out the oils the next day. I'm going to taste them for the experience with a spoon and for the pleasure. And then I'll bring some samples to my small laboratory to do an analysis, a chemical analysis that will determine the acidity level of my olive oil. There, we talked about acidity. Never. No, for you the Italians it's important. You are eating a lot of olive oil, you need to know what it means, the acidity. For people that they don't eat enormous quantity of the olive oil, come on, the acidity doesn't matter. Other things matter. I will show you outside on the tin what you shall look for in order to guarantee.
I'm very happy to meet you because it's very important this visit.
Well, me too. I always like questions.
A friend of mine does the same things that you do.
You do other things, very nice things in Puglia. I'm following a site that they do stuff there about the biodiversity also.
Yes, yes.
They are fighting. They have seen in environments like this, we open up now our eyes and we see, oh, we did something wrong. But we have to arrive to this situation to say, oh, wrong. And now they are doing excellent things with the biodiversity.
I studied also with Claude Aubert. I don't know if you know him. He was the father of biological agriculture. I thought about 40 years ago.
No. Or I don't know what. What matters it is when did I harvest, when did I make the olive oil. So how do you know that? Since the lawmaker, he doesn't oblige us to put the production date on the packaging, like they do in the wine, for example. If you see that in an olive oil, grab the bottle. That is a sign of quality. The fact that if he's going to say when it was produced, it's a sign of quality. But you won't see it. Since you won't see it, you will see the expiration date. The expiration date, the lawmaker, he obliges us to put it, and he gives us the opportunity, and everybody takes that opportunity, including me, of putting it at 24 months from the production. So if you combine now what I just told you, is that I'm telling you, when you go buy olive oil, you try to find when it was produced, because that is important. You cannot find it, so you turn, you find the expiration date, you take 2 years away, and you know when it was produced. If it was produced the year that you're going to eat it, you are very happy, you take it. If not, try to find a fresher olive oil. Is it clear? Because it's important, this. And it's hard to find it. That is the first thing. The second thing is that you need to eat at all the moments the extra virgin olive oil. The extra virgin olive oil is the top quality olive oil. There is nothing better than the extra virgin olive oil. It arrives of being relatively cheaper for the most people, the extra virgin olive oil. For two reasons. The first is the consumption habits. You don't consume a lot, guys. I mean, the people that they are not living with an olive tree outside of their yards, they do not consume the 30 liters that I told you per person per year. So, 30 liters per person per year, it means that a family of 4, he cannot afford of buying the fleur d'huile, the run of olive oil, because it arrives of being very expensive. About sauces. As soon as I start adding things, I leave from the extra virgin category. Extra virgin, it means all the olives. Not only olives, but directly olives. It means directly that we didn't do anything to the olives before we bring them to the olive mill. We didn't let them ferment, or we didn't put them in brine. We brought them directly. In the olive mill, we used mechanical processes, the third thing. Mechanical are both what I explained to you in there. And what we have, the pressing and the centrifugation. Both of those are mechanical. Mechanical, it actually means not chemical, not dialytes. Don't do these things. And then we'll make a liquid, and that liquid will bring it to a chemist. That chemist will make an analysis, and he will try to find our level in 6 chemical values. Those chemical values, we must mark them, put them on the tin, on the bottle. I'll pass you a couple of tins, and you'll pass them all over. Those values, I call them values at bottling. And one side of the tin is English, the other is French, so don't think that you have mistaken. I'm talking about the middle board, very easy. Easy because we are not looking to find 6 chemical values like the chemist, but only 3. 3 qualities we are looking to find in an olive oil, and if we have them, we are very, very happy that we are in the extra virgin universe. If one of these qualities that I'm going to describe to you, it's not there, or if one of those qualities is defective, problematic, no matter what's written there, no matter what I tell you, the olive oil is not extra virgin. And don't be very suspicious, because it might have been extra virgin, but it's not at the moment that you are tasting it. 3 qualities we said in order to ratify it as extra virgin.
We will demonstrate now how we make traditional dolmades. Probably some of you...
Dolmas.
Yes. So you can gather around, or you can just take a look and listen to Angeliki. She's an expert to that, and she's going to teach you how to do vine leaves from the vineyards, along with some rice and more that she is going to describe. Enjoy, enjoy.
If you want to participate, of course, you can, at least to make one, if you want. Okay, what we have here, we have the wine leaves. Okay. Okay. We pick them up from the trees, and then in order to use them, we boil them for 2 minutes with hot water. So all the medicines and everything goes away, and they're ready, to cook them. So we take the leaf from inside, the top. In the stuffing we have fresh onion, dry onion, zucchini, we have mint, parsley, we have dill, tomato, a little bit of tomato, the juice. All these we grate them, okay? Olive oil, rice, salt, pepper, and if you want, you can put some meat, if you want. Most of us here, we don't use meat. Okay, what we do now? We take a small spoon, we don't want a lot in it. We put it in the middle.
Nobody's talking.
Then we take the top, we cover it, then the left side, the right side, and then we fold it. Okay? That's it. When we put it in the oven or in our pan, we want all our dolmades to be close to each other because they don't, otherwise they open when we cook them. Okay, who wants to try? Come on. Okay. Top, left side, right side. No, before. The top, then the left side. So we close the stuffing, the right side, and then we roll it.
It's all out.
Yeah, it's okay. You have to be careful to close the stuffing inside.
It's okay.
It's okay. Perfect. Come on.
Bravo, Elena.
Who else? Okay. We cook them for 30 minutes. In the oven it's easier, of course. A little bit of olive oil and water. Okay. I have some ready for you so you can taste them later. Left side, right side, yes. I'm left hand, so I'm cool. Bravo! Oh, she's very good, bravo! Come on! Perfect.
Okay.
Nobody else?
I want to learn Greek. No, but normally, because not from the country, we call them sarmadaka. So it's, we are more familiar with the north of the country. We put rice. No, I totally understand. It's the mind. It's more like
Bravo, Corinne.
well done. Yes.
Bravo!
Να κάνουμε και ένα δάκρυ τώρα.
Να κάνουμε το τζατζίκι. Θα προλάβουμε. Εντάξει, το έχω απλά. Εντάξει, εντάξει. Πού θα είναι η σέφα. Εδώ μου με την ντομάτα, φέτα και τον ένα βρίσκουν τα τακάκια. The secret is the fresh tomato, oregano, salt and feta cheese. Okay, you can do it with this kind of rusk, or you can use any rusk you want. Doesn't matter. Okay. So you grate the tomatoes. It has to be, juicy. We want to be them to be juicy. Okay. Some olive oil, some oregano, and you just do it like this. tomato. We don't care if the tomato goes everywhere, doesn't matter. Okay. And some feta cheese.
In Italy, friselle.
My hands are clean, eh?
Okay.
So I can
Believe you.
yes. Don't be afraid for tomato, put a lot. The more the better. Παντελή, βγάλε μου τα ντολμαδάκια, βγάλε μου τα τζατζίκια, το ψωμί. I have plenty of them, so taste them. I'll bring you some dolmadakια now to taste and some tzatziki. Βρες άλλο ένα κουταλάκι ρε παιδί μου και βάλε το μικρό κουταλάκι δεν το χρειάζομαι. Πάρ' το από εκεί, δεν θα κάνουμε τzatziki.
Ωραία.
Perfect tacos.
Yes.
It's perfect and it's very easy. Any time of day.
Yes.
Okay, people. Make your own tacos.
Κάτω είναι, πέρα, κάτω εκεί.
Sorry.
Garlic. That's
And white vinegar?
sometimes we use
Yes,
white
white
vinegar, but it's really refreshing. You can taste it; it's very nice. And maybe Angeliki, we could just say, thank you. We could just say how to make the proportions of a tzatziki. We can tell them how to make it, even though we didn't.
Yes, yes.
Just to tell them how.
Yogurt. We don't want yogurt with, juice inside. So we grate the cucumber. We squeeze it because we don't want any water in our yogurt. So we mix it, salt and pepper. We put 3 teaspoons of white vinegar, 2 or 3, it depends from your yogurt. And you taste it. And 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Then we mix it again and we taste it to see if we want some more salt. Then we put our garlic, as much as we like. Some people they don't like a lot of garlic, some people they want a lot of garlic. Okay, we mix them again and we put some dill if you want.
What is this?
Dill, it's the herb. Let me show you. And that's it. That's tzatziki, it's very easy. Tzatziki has to do with our flavor. Some people they put some carrot inside if they want. So they make it fresher, Now I'm gonna show you the dill. And that's it, it's very easy. The secret is to squeeze the cucumber very well, so you don't have any waters, and to put as much garlic as you like. So you make it lighter or you make it stronger. And I have the dill, please.